Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Keely, and today we are letting a random color wheel pick my colors for my project. If you've seen my last video, I started the Persian Tiles Blanket, and in that video I was having a color wheel with my inputted colors choose the colors for the rounds, and I was very surprised and pleased with those results. So I want to continue that and make a few more tiles. And what I want to start off with is I had 3 colors left over from the first round of picking the colors that didn't get chosen at all. So I have the wheel right here in my hand. I'm gonna spin it, and I only have those 3 colors on this wheel. I'm gonna spin it and see in what order it chooses those colors, and those are gonna be the first couple of colors. The 3 colors that it gets to choose from is white, bright orange, and lavender. Right here is what that looks like. So let's go ahead and spin. Okay, the first color is the bright orange. So I'm gonna remove that, spin this again. Okay, our next color is lavender. I do have more of this. I have a whole another skein of this. So even though this is small, I still have more to make it around the tile. So it's not a worry. And then the third color is obviously going to be white. So I'm not going to spin this again. Okay, now I still need a total of 7 colors. So I've got the first 3. I need 4 more. I've inputted all the colors back into this wheel. And so I'm going to spin 4 more times to get the last 4 colors for this next tile. All right, the first color, lemon. All right, first color, or technically 4th color. Okay, we got lavender again. I didn't remove it from the list when I re-inputted the option, so I'm just gonna remove this and spin again. Iced pink is the next color. All right, last 2 colors. Okay, lemongrass. This one right here, and the last color, bluebell. All right, so this is the lineup of colors. I think this one is going to turn out really nice. All the others have turned out really nice, so I have high expectations for this one. All right, the 4th round is done. Very pastel pinky with a pop of orange. This is what we are looking like for this iced pink. I'm really nervous that I may not have enough. That's gonna really suck if I have to frog all that back, because when I'm gonna need this color again is the last 4 rows or 4 rounds of the pattern. I mean, worst case scenario, I have to frog it back, and best case scenario is I win a game of yarn chicken. All right, so I didn't record me finishing this tile, but we did finish, and this is how much left of the yarn we had. So white, a lot left. I don't even know why I was worried. I think the fact that for when you straighten out the edges, instead of it being like the valleys and you straighten it out, the fact that you switched to a smaller hook size, I think really helped in my yarn usage. Very pleased with that. And here is how the tile is looking. I've gotten some of the ends woven in. I still have quite a few left, but I've done like half of the ends, so good progress. We are actually about to go have some dinner/lunch with the family, and when I get back, hopefully I finish weaving these ends in, and then we can start on the next tile. All right, I just finished weaving in the ends for this first tile. It took me all day. So in order to speed things up a little bit, I know I said I was challenging myself to try to weave in all the ends before I start the next one, but I want to get more than just like 3 of these done in 1 week. So I'm going to skip weaving in the ends. I'm going to roll for the next tile, make the next tile, and I'm going to do that 3 more times. So I have a total of 4 squares that I will have done this week, and then just through the week, maybe like on my lunch break or just here and there when I have a little bit of time, I'll weave in these ends. And after that, once I make that fourth one, I can't make the next square until I weave in all the ends of the next 3 tiles that I'm about to do. But here is the final tile, looking pretty good. So now I have my yarn in the other room, and I don't want to get up just yet and disturb my dog because he is doing a little snooze, but I will go ahead and roll for these colors, and I'll go get them here in a moment. Okay, first color is auburn. I'll remove it. Second color is primrose. Third color is lagoon blue. Fourth, oyster pink. It almost went onto powder blue. That would have been funny. All right, 3 more. Vibrant green. Last 2 is grass. The last color is pink. Okay, so we have our 7 colors. I'll go grab those here in a moment and show y'all the palette, and then we can get started on our second square for the week. All right, here, if I can hold on to it, is our color palette. So we have the auburn right here, the vibrant green, primrose, pink, lagoon blue, grass, and then oyster pink. So let's get started. Good morning, everyone. So last night I was working on this second Persian tile for this week, and I ended around like the 4th or 5th row, and I just finished the weaving in the last end for this one today. I know I mentioned I wanted to try a new method of weaving in these ends, and I was thinking of maybe just making all the tiles and then weaving them in throughout the week, this upcoming week. And then I thought, you know, a better way to do that is do a couple rounds and then weave in those ends, do a couple more, weave in those, etc., until I finish. And I feel like that method was very efficient for me because here is this tile and the back. So all the ends are woven in. It felt like it was going very fast. I didn't dread ending it because I didn't have all these ends to weave in. I had a couple for the last row or round, but that's not too bad. So I will hold this up again. I really like this one. It kind of had a similar color scheme to our third one right here, where it had this lagoon blue and the light yellow right here, the pale yellow, and then it kind of had a bright green in it. So I really like it. I have already spun the wheel for the next colors. Here we are for the colors for the next wheel, and in no particular order. We have the tomato red, cornfield, orange, powder blue, medium pink, bright yellow, and then a light green. When I spun the wheel the first time, I did get white, and I forgot I had already used that for a previous tile. So I respun the wheel once, and that the white got replaced with the tomato red here. I am going to get started on this one. This one's going to be very nice and vibrant. Here is where we are at so far. I've just finished the fans, about to start round 8, where it's gonna kind of connect the fans to the main portion of this, and it's gonna look way more cohesive. I do have some ends to weave in because of the fans, but overall I feel like the method I was talking about earlier, where weaving in a few ends after every few rounds, is really working out nicely. Pretty efficient. I know when I did the first 3, I didn't weave in any of the ends and just wove them in after. And I distinctly remember we were watching a movie, and while we were watching the movie, I was weaving in the ends for one of them, and it took the whole movie to weave in all the ends for this. Now, granted, it probably would have been a little faster, but since I was distracted watching the movie, that made me slow down a bit. But I haven't timed myself on this exactly, but I think this is going way faster. All right, we finished our 3rd square, and unfortunately that is all that I'm gonna have time for today. I love how this one turned out. And all the ends are woven in, as you just saw. This will be 6 squares total that I've done. You need a total of 16 for the blanket. I think I can knock out 5 next week. That's the goal, is 5. Now that I've done the pattern a few times, I'm really getting used to it. I kind of know what I need to do, so I'm not having to look at the pattern instructions as much anymore. I still look at it at a quick glance just to make sure I'm doing exactly what needs to be done, because some of them you do 3 single crochet in the top of the triangle after you do the fan, and then on the next row you don't. When it alternates like that, I just like to double check on the pattern, but I'm really liking that this is using up some of my scrap yarn pieces. I will say, with the pops of the vibrant colors, when I first started this, I was saying I maybe will not include like the really like vibrant purple that I have and the really bright red that I have. I know this is kind of very similar to the red I have, but it's kind of a darker bright red, if that makes sense. If you've seen the Halloween Sir Darkal, you'll know the red I'm talking about. But if I run out of any of these colors, I may substitute one of those colors in, because I think the pop of color with the pastel colors that I've picked out just really brings the whole tile all together. I will show all 3 that we completed. Here's the first one. Ends are woven in on that one. The second, ends are woven in on that one. And the last one, also ends are woven in on that one. In comparison to last week, I have made some progress to where last week I left off with some ends for the 3rd tile to be woven in. This week I've made improvements. So next week I definitely think we can hit the goal of 5. But yeah, let me know in the comments which one is your favorite for this week. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see y'all in the next one.